Hot air balloon trips. Who cares? The sky is calling. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Coming in 2024.
Play it day one with
Oh,
Game
they didn't
Pass.
show the Dune thing.
There's a Dune. Dune, like the same those planes or whatever that are in Dune. They're adding it to them.
Doesn't say it. Huh.
Well, that is E3 in a nutshell. He quickly just had to digest the whole thing of this month, which was
Overall
unofficial
reaction.
E3.
3 out of 10. They
Yeah.
did nothing.
There's the rating. Welcome, everybody, to the special edition. You know how you have to pre-order? You don't have to pre-order here. You can jump in on YouTube on any time to your subscriptions, and see us if you subscribe. That's like a permanent pre-order because we're always delivering. We're kind of like Game Pass of cool content.
Except we're free.
And we're free.
Yeah, you can't.
You're paying,
can't be any
and
better.
didn't Game Pass go up in cost, in price?
I don't know if it did.
It went up like $1, $2.
My Amazon Prime.
I
went
think
up
it
in price.
did. It went up a couple bucks.
Guess what the price of DweeBros went to? It's still $0.
It's free, baby.
We are the only constant in your life. So thank you, guys.
Isn't there like a saying like you're worth what you make or you're worth what people have?
So we should
value?
start charging. We have a great announcement for you. I'll act like Tim Cook. We have a great announcement for you guys today.
For just $4.99.
We are going up in price to $14.99.
Oh, $14.99. I forgot a one.
Yeah.
My bad.
But
Oops.
no, we're staying free. You're doing a permanent pre-order, but this is a special edition of the DweeBros podcast where we are talking unofficial E3. And just before we went on, I said it is going to get to a point because we're calling it E3 still. E3 did not happen this year. We had the Xbox showcase. We had Ubisoft did something. Nintendo Direct. Ubisoft just always does something. But
Yeah, Bethesda
we had
was in there.
Bethesda,
Nintendo,
Xbox,
Sony.
Sony had a showcase. So it's like all of these kind of come out, but they're not coordinated. They just kind of come out on a random Tuesday. And Nintendo's always like, hey, Direct tomorrow at 1 p.m. Be there.
Yeah.
They're always just like, hey, here's
Because they know people are just going to watch it.
Yeah, and they're always like one day before.
But
And
don't you think they would build more hype if they announced it a little further out and people like
Yes.
there was a building anticipation? I
Yeah.
think they're screwing themselves a little bit.
I don't
with
know
that.
if they're keeping stuff close to the chest or stuff gets leaked out when they do that, but stuff's already leaking out, so it's not
Yeah.
working either way.
Yeah.
Just do it. So, but we had unofficial E3, and we were talking before we began. If they keep calling this, we keep calling this E3, there's going to be 10, 12 years from now, kids are going to watch this YouTube video. What's E3? Why do they keep calling it that? Like, is E3 happening? Where is it? But we had it. We have some thoughts on it. We haven't introduced ourselves in a while, but I am Dweebo, aka Zach. That's on my birth certificate, by the way, Dweebo.
It's official.
And they call me Zach.
What's going on, guys? I'm Jacob. Jacob, good to hang out with you guys.
And I'm Travis. It's fun to have game talk together.
We talk games, we're talking movies, TV shows, all the fun stuff that went on this month. We're not going to talk about any submarines controlled by controllers.
Yeah, dude, we actually do have to just talk about the controller. I don't think we need to get into the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
I think the one thing we kind of all came to the same conclusion was some of these memes were so evil-spirited and mean-spirited
terrible.
and whatever.
Terrible.
But the one thing we had to collectively as a nation laugh about when they showed the controller, because for me, I own that controller. I had that Logitech controller.
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
In school. So seeing that control the lives of all these people.
Dude, me and my brother
That
would
was the thing,
talk
was like-
about how that wasn't reliable for Lego Racer. we would
Lego
argue
Racers
like,
would disconnect.
yeah, I tried using it for Madden 2002.
Doesn't work.
It wasn't consistently usable. It would go down. It would get the analog drift wrong.
Well, it's crazy to me. I think they accounted for the analog drift by installing those crazy extenders. Did you see the extenders on that controller?
Yeah, there was they put little 3D printed analogs.
For
stuff
more
on it.
precision of a movement.
Here's the thing.
At-
I understand, okay, we're a business. We want to, keep costs down. That controller
Yeah.
is $20, whatever.
Yeah.
Just buy the Xbox controller.
That's
Just
what
buy
I'm
a buy a 360 controller.
I'm going to go
Buy
farther. Don't they have PlayStation just came out with one, the freaking Pro controller, the thing
Yeah.
that I forgot
Dude,
what that's
seriously.
called, but it's like $120.
An Atari
Splurge.
controller is
I
better
would
than what
splurge
mine
and get
was.
that. If you had to build your own submarine, what controller would you take down there?
Ooh, this is a really good question.
Oh my gosh.
This is an excellent
What would you
question.
use?
Okay. I would say a dark horse is an N64 controller because that middle grip would feel good.
A dark
with
horse. What are you saying?
Like a dark horse is like you wouldn't expect.
Oh,
it, but
okay, yeah, okay.
Is like a dark horse in the race.
Oh, okay.
The N64 controller.
You'd want to use that.
That's an option because I have used that for so long as a kid, and like it just feels
It'd
like
be
that.
second nature.
It feels like a submarine grip. I
It
don't know how
does.
to explain it.
Okay.
And then you could bring your hand over here on this D-pad. That's an option.
You might have to have somebody else on the thing control the D-pad on the side as you control it.
Another, like, I feel like the safest thing would be an Xbox 360 controller. That is, although that D-pad's a little inconsistent. I don't know if I want my life relying on the D-pad of that.
One bad D-pad move.
I might go with like a modern Xbox Series controller.
Yeah, I think that's
Those
the
are
most
really
Pack
solid
extra
and
double
safe.
A's.
because the PlayStation 5 controller would die.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
you
would
go
never.
down- you
I
go
would
down there and
never.
you're like,
No,
yeah.
it's not an option. I wouldn't
Yeah.
take it. And
You know what else has a good
I would not
battery?
take a Joy-Con for sure.
Nope.
That would not be part of the
The
equation.
Wii U, was it the Wii U Pro controller? Had an
Oh, yeah.
amazing
Yes,
battery.
great
Yeah,
battery.
That
that's a
thing
good
died
one.
like once I used it.
There was only one
Ever.
controller though that makes sense to control a submarine. The
You're gonna
Nintendo Wii controller with the nunchuck.
Because you'd
I want you to think about it. Think about it. If you point and you
just
point,
point up.
yeah, and you point where you want to go, and then use the nunchuck up and down to accelerate
Yeah.
and decelerate.
But if your sensor bar like gets off where it needs to be,
yeah,
and you need
you're
to
putting
recalibrate,
another connection.
I'm not bringing
issue.
motion
You know,
controls
I
into
think
this.
the motion
Because don't you
control is
remember
the
the Skyward
best
Sword?
way.
Don't you remember the Skyward Sword demo and Shigeru Miyamoto was up there? And
The
he could-
technology is there. We can upgrade
it'd have to be a
it.
Wii
Ah,
Motion Plus.
Another
Plus is the only way.
another dark horse that I have used tried and true for some of my most difficult gaming accomplishments is a Steam controller because that's what I beat all the Dark Souls games on.
Okay.
And I feel like it's so modular with those pads. There's cool things you could probably set
He
up.
could have definitely got that.
But
working
something
with
happened-
that.
He could have definitely gotten a Steam controller.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of other controllers I'd rather have picked other than a Logitech controller. Honestly, why not the PS3 controller? The PS3 controller was great.
The thing
battery,
is,
it was small.
The whole controversy
light.
around the
Too
sub
light.
thing was that he cut corners to save cost. But when you see the controller, it's like $80 more bucks you could have had. Like,
And he was happy
you're good.
about it. He had the biggest smile. showing
Yeah,
his
and it's like
controller
that's the one thing. It's like I'm gonna have to laugh about that because that's really funny.
off.
But
Yeah, so
everything else is very sad. But
sad.
but we're not gonna talk sad tonight. We're gonna talk excitement tonight. We're gonna talk. Let's just get straight into this freaking E3
Summer.
biz that went on. E3 summer.
Yeah,
Rest
last
in peace.
time we had already covered Sony, I think, right? So we just have
Yes,
Nintendo
we
and
covered
Xbox.
Sony.
Yeah,
And
it's one of the benefits of this being spread out.
to
We
mention
actually
E3 again, did you see that they said? I saw that on the news thing. It said 2024. It's up in the air. We're in discussions, and I'm like, it's over. It's
Yeah,
over.
it's
They were
not
like,
happening.
I was like, it's
I don't know
dead.
if I think if they go away for a few years, the hype would kind of get excited again, where like it'd be a nostalgia rush. Where they could
But
come
I
back
just
for a
don't
year.
know if all these companies are on the same page. And now we're kind of like spilling out secrets in these depositions. Is that how you say it?
Depositions.
Depositions. Because Xbox is still, and I think we've talked about it every other podcast, still trying to buy Activision. And they're trying to be allowed in to do that. So they had to go to court. I don't know what this thing was about. Do you know more about it? Like,
So the FTC blocked the deal,
Mhm.
and they appealed. And so when you do an appeal, it basically starts to go through different levels, whether it's arbitration or whatever. So in this scenario, they're going through a discovery period.
Okay.
And so discovery is where you have a set of weeks or months where files are tapped, emails are grabbed. Basically, the court says, okay, if you want to appeal this, you need to provide this. And
Yeah.
we want all your emails. We want all of this. We want everything, every text message, every phone
Yeah.
call.
Show what's happening.
So that's what's happening is Xbox is turning over all their records. So if they want to appeal, they have to do this.
Yeah.
And so out of this, there are all these.
tons of stuff.
I mean, imagine Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, all these people's emails
Yeah.
dumped out. Like, we're
Yeah.
getting a lot of crazy stuff.
But I would have to go through and it's like, Matt Booty, you got to delete all the booty text. You know
He
what I mean?
did
Like,
have something that he screwed up so
Did
bad. He has an email where he said, guys, if we do this now, we can spin Sony out of business. Like he has an email. I was like, that guy's losing his job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
that's
he's
really
not
funny.
like he's higher up in the
No.
development, but he's not in their business area. So
Yeah.
like, it's not. Gonna
That's
hold a
so
lot of water.
funny. That's
but
the
it's
one
such a
because they're
dumb
going to
thing
court to show
say.
we're not doing that. And
Yeah.
It's like we're actually doing that.
And I saw someone say they were like, it's not a good look like in the media, but that's not going to be enough to
No.
Yeah,
lose or win the case.
The whole thing. has
But
to
it
be
is
good.
enough for him to be like, Yeah,
Dang.
you're getting put on the bench, or
you're getting called in a conference room
you're
and
got-
screamed at.
yeah,
you're getting
yeah,
your
oh
booty
my
spanked
God, oh my
for that
God.
one.
I
Mr.
don't
Booty.
think it's going to get blocked. I would be shocked if it actually did.
Well, they're gonna have
I don't know
to. They're
what's gonna
stripping down
happen.
naked to make sure they can get
well,
it.
I saw what during the motion where I don't know if it was. I think it was Phil Spencer. They were basically giving like an opening, and he was saying there was never a plan for us to make anything exclusive towards Sony. Like we were not going to chop anything off. And then he used actually, for example, some of the games Sony puts out, like with Insomniac Studios, directly saying like they'll pay money early.
Yeah, they
they'll
got
do
good
things-
points. They have
and
good
they'll
points.
do things to make sure games come out on their platform 1st before they come out on us. And so he's like,
Yeah.
there's kind of a double standard there. If we're not going to probe this and we're going to stop this, like, how does it make sense?
I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, and I understand most of these agencies didn't block it. The FTC and the one in Great Britain did, or in England did.
Yeah.
And there has to be, I think Sony has some lobbying connections in that area, because they were bringing up points like, well, Xbox, you've got an exclusive Indiana Jones game coming out, and that's a big property. That's Disney. You can't do that. And they were like, they have Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah,
they
like,
have
yeah.
way
The
bigger
bigger- one of the
Indiana
bigger
Jones,
properties.
Like, they have other things. Like,
Yeah.
why can we not also
Resident
do
Evil,
that?
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy, all these guys
Yeah.
are like they're timed exclusive.
I think the
sometimes.
biggest thing they're trying to figure out is like, an exclusive is one thing. Like I like the points Xbox made or whatever, but like I guess how big Activision
They are
is.
massive.
They're
They are
giant.
massive versus like an exclusive game that's coming out, Final Fantasy or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see where. But the other stuff that came out that I was cracking up about was, well, for one that we were talking about, I think today, was they leaked that price of that Project Q. They said it's going to be less than $300. It's like, oh, it's $299.
Yeah.
That's what that means when
Yeah.
they say that. So it's like, oh my gosh, I bet Sony's like, I wish. that we
Hey,
could
I'm
get that.
vindicated. On the last podcast, I was like, I was here, and this is
Well,
gonna be around.
I did say, I was like, that thing is more than 150. It's dead on arrival.
What a terrible like decision to put that. One, it looks atrocious, but then two, like it's a streaming box. My Steam Deck streams my PS5 games, and I have no issue.
150 or less, I think they could have done it. I think they could have figured out a market, but man, 300.
Like it's not
It's
even worth
dead,
it
man.
unless you can play things natively, like on it, like download from your PS5 library onto it.
Maybe there's more we don't know.
chance.
I don't
know
know.
it's not a chance, but that's the only way I can be
Yeah.
like, that's justifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I could download a game, play it natively on that dang console by itself, and you have that cross save progression. I'm like, mwah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe there's other stuff
Good
we don't
job.
know.
But as far as I
I don't
know,
know.
it's just a streaming thing, and I'm like,
Does the Steam Deck streaming from PS5 work perfect?
Oh,
Because
dude.
I haven't set it up yet, but I want to.
it's an app you download for Discovery called Chitaki.
And
I
it's-
can send it to you.
Yeah, it's
All
easy.
I do is hook up to my PS5, and it literally, like, you know how Screenplay works?
Yeah.
It just sends it right to my PS5, and
Wow.
it's all mapped already, pre-mapped,
Okay.
and it downs the resolution down on your Steam Deck. So I'm playing FIFA. I play MLB on there. It's like my leisure thing.
So I might play Mass Effect too
You could.
on that.
You 100% could.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
Nice.
it's super easy. And that's why I was like, so in my opinion, I look at this and I'm like, it's not needed. Like anyone else can do it. So I don't know. It's such a dumb idea.
And the last thing I saw, there's this tidbits coming out. The one that made me laugh the hardest, because I just put myself back in, like, Xbox 360, PS3 era when, like, console war stuff I think was more on fire. I think last gen, before this PS4, it was kind of no contest. And that's what they admitted.
Mm-hmm.
They said, Sony, we lost the console war. And that just was cracking me up because, like, to people that are not maybe into video games, to hear it's like, what the heck's a console war?
Yeah.
But, like, to me, it's the funniest statement because it's like, it's perfect troll forum post.
Yeah.
MNO, it's like, Xbox admitted you guys lost.
Yeah.
They've been leaning right into it and
Yeah.
saying it. Yeah.
But they just keep kicking themselves. We're just losers. We
Yeah.
can't do this.
Yeah.
We're babies.
That's what I was watching. One of my favorite YouTubers was giving a recap about Xbox and like their show. He's like, "It was a good show, but do not forget, they will always be losers.
Yeah.
They will always be little losers
Yeah.
that lost the console wars
Yeah.
because of that same thing."
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
this-
get that concept. Everyone's just trying to control like their own property and expand it.
Yeah.
Xbox is doing a great job.
Well, let's talk Xbox's show. So
Yeah,
we
go into
watched it here.
We
I
streamed
had
it
fun.
live.
I thought it was a lot better than Sony's show. Really did. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sony had good stuff, but it was all third party that I
Yeah.
liked there. I liked the Bungie trailer, and other than that, none of their first party, and I would even say, in addition to Spider-Man 2, none of it did it for me. But especially the fact that it was all live service cinematic
Yeah.
trailers for all their first party games besides Spider-Man. That was brutal. So Microsoft wasn't. All of their first-party stuff they showed was single-player. Some of it I liked. Some of it I actually really didn't like. I thought Avowed looked cool.
Yeah.
I'm down. That's a Game Pass. I liked Outer Worlds. This looks like that, but in more of like a Skyrim setting. Like that looks cool. They showed some really cool smaller indie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They showed Fable, which I'm on the fence. Like it looked good what they showed, but
This was the year of giants, and you could see it.
Yeah,
when we did our
I like
Hangouts
that. Like
or
there's
our
like the
stream
girl
of
and
it.
there's a giant guy, and I was like I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But it all looked like it took place from like the same prologue, so it made me feel like this game is really far off.
Yeah.
Like all of the gameplay looked like it took place within
Be
5
2 years
minutes
off or
of
more,
each
yeah.
other. I kind of had the same problem with the Avowed thing. It was like 2 different settings that all the gameplay clips came from, and they were both very small in scope. And I was like, this is supposed to be like an open world game.
Yeah.
Like, what are we looking at? Is this
Still
like a
fleshing
demo?
stuff
Like
out.
it's almost like they made a trailer, but all they had to use to make the trailer was demo. So they used the demo to make a trailer,
Yeah.
and it makes the game look like it's very small. In
Yeah.
scope. So that would be my main thing was they showed some cool stuff, but the real star of the show was Microsoft Flights Now, which did look cool if you're into that. But the real star of the show was Starfield.
Yeah, so I think it was an hour long of just all their other games, and then it was an hour just on Starfield. I think they spent.
And that hour kept going, and just when I'd be like, all right, I think they've shown all they can show, they would do another segment.
So we were on the same page. I coming into it was like, I'll play it on Game Pass. Bethesda and me, they keep putting out these Skyrim ports. It's like, come on. But this, I was like, and then I didn't like Fallout 4. But seeing this, I was like, wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Like I was like, there's a lot of fun stuff.
Great.
It looks great.
And the shipbuilding stuff looks fun.
I'm
and-
in.
I've been consistently hyped for this, but I started to waver a little bit when I wasn't sure. Like after Cyberpunk, I was like, well, if they had trouble with this current gen, like, but that looked awesome.
It
I
did.
think they've waited long enough. They've done everything they can to make sure this comes out at the right way, and I'm with you. Please do not get Cyberpunk us, but I don't think they will.
Before the Xbox acquisition, this had a release date of 2020.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer said, it came out in the leaks too, he was the one that said, no, they were putting it out in 2020. Like hell or high water, this game was
I
coming
remember,
out. So they
come out.
stopped and they did a year of additional development. And then the last year has just been, they locked the game. It's been polished.
Yeah.
And so
Man,
That's amazing for
I'm
Bethesda.
so like, hey, Microsoft.
Bethesda with a year of polish.
Yeah.
Wow, you might be a
And they
regular,
said
it
this
might be a regular
game
game now.
I don't think they would do this if they weren't really confident. They said this game is the lowest bug count of any game they've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
before release.
That's crazy what happens when you take
Hey.
polish time. Bethesda's like,
Hey,
what?
and if Redfall had to
Microsoft-
die so Starfield could live, I'll be
amen.
fine.
Phil
Let it
Spencer
die.
had to sit down and go, you polish your game, and Todd Howard's like, what is polish? Explain polish to me.
But I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, that's
It looks
honestly
really fun. It looks like it is honestly, now that they got acquisition by Microsoft, the first Xbox exclusive I've been excited for since, I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like Halo Infinite was, I'd say Halo Infinite, but like,
Yeah.
but even then I was mixed at that time.
Yeah,
so actually,
there was so much baggage. With
actually
that.
probably
Yeah.
the first time since Halo 3 maybe that I've been
Yeah.
extremely excited. Maybe Halo Reach, but
Yeah.
it's been a long time. But yeah, cool.
that honestly though, that's like the highest of highlights. You got your Forza and everything else that was thrown in between. Nintendo though, they always do what they do best.
They had their little direct.
The little direct, and it's always so funny because I feel like it's always jam packed with like little indie games that like I don't know why they only go on.
Well,
behind
I
the
was cracking
Switch.
up at the memes. People were like, when Mario fans see that they've announced the 16th farm simulator, because it's always like, grow your farm or grow a little like a
Yeah.
thing. And that seems like at every direct they announce a new farm like anime game.
What's it called? Stardew Valley really started a trend, man.
It's been like 4 of them at each direct.
At
Yeah.
every direct, or a new Fire Emblem. But no hate against Fire Emblem fans, but there's a lot. But from that I think there was 2 standouts. There was Pikmin 4, which I'm not really a big Pikmin guy.
But you get the other Pikmin games coming to the Switch, which
that's
is
coming.
kind of a big deal. Because the other Pikmin games, I don't know, you didn't play. Did you play those?
No.
Pikmin 1 and 2 were great.
Yeah.
They were great games. So
what are you
like,
doing, Pac-Man?
Pikmin? Oh my gosh.
This is the sequel.
No,
I've never played the Pikmins.
You haven't?
I've seen
It's
little
a
alien
cool. It's a
ants.
cool adventure platformer.
Oh, it's a platformer.
You pull stuff off. You collect these little bugs.
You
and
kind of
there's
manage
puzzles.
these little like lemmings basically, and you
Yeah.
send them like you got to send like 18
like it?
to tear.
Yeah, it has a strategy element to it. It's like very small, but it does. So it just kind of
I've
scratches
always
my
been
brain.
intrigued, but I never had a GameCube or the ones that had them on it, and then they never really put one out on Switch till now. So I've
Yeah.
never really had the opportunity.
You can pick up 1 and 2. I don't think 3 came out. I think 3 was on Wii U.
3
right?
was on Wii U.
I didn't
yeah.
play the 3.
Yeah.
I did not play 3.
That was the
but
one I
looks good.
played recently when I was telling you guys that the Wii U can become bricked if you don't play it in a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
So I plugged it in, and that's what I booted that up. I'd never
Okay,
played it
Pikmin
before.
3.
But I
like,
was like,
how
oh,
do you
well,
do
let's check it out for a while so my Wii U doesn't die.
But there are 2 major titles, I think, honestly, that
yeah, there was 2 major
shined above everything else.
Super Mario RPG.
Frick yes!
That was a big hit.
About freaking time, dude. Seriously.
I
played
didn't
it-
think they were ever gonna do
I
that.
played that for the first time 5 years ago, 6 years ago or something. But man, it was Square Enix did it. It was just such a charming, excellent game, and then that kind of led to the Paper Mario series, and then Mario and Luigi series of RPG stuff. Which those games have they've lost their way.
They have, especially after
The
1,000
Paper
Year Door.
Mario, yeah.
Super Paper Mario on the Wii was good, but
Yeah,
1,000 Year Door is the great one.
I would agree with that. I'm right with you on that one. And then after that, it's been kind of weird. They did a crossover with Mario RPG and Paper Mario on like
terrible.
3DS or something. And I was
Awful.
like, what are we
Throw it
doing
out.
here?
PU.
So those games have kind of died off. And now coming back to remaking Super Mario RPG, it's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's come back to this.
Amazing. It's going. I've
The
thought
music's
about.
incredible.
I have started the RPG series on the SNES multiple times, and I just like I'm a snob. I know I'm a snob, and I'm just like I can't do it. I just can't sit here and play it like this. I can't. So I've missed out on what I think is one of the best games to play. Everyone's telling me it's one of the best games you can play on the SNES. So now I get to play it remastered, well, completely remade on the Switch.
And what was funny, people have been finding and comparing certain shots of like screenshots and the trailer or whatever, and there was like stuff back then. They kind of that game is stuffed with weird stuff. Donkey Kong has like a weird chain around his head, and like there is like references to like tons of stuff. There's like a whole webpage you can look up, and there is like TV and movie references where they just shoved all this stuff in.
Interesting.
They also put in, it kind of reminds me of that same era, like when they were making like Link's Awakening. Mm-hmm. Link's Awakening has like Chain Chomps and Mario, you know what I mean? Like stuff that's from other Nintendo games or properties. This game had like, there was a toy box thing and Metroid's in it.
Yeah.
And then there was one where I think it's the Mascot 2, I could be wrong, the like Famicom, and it's like this disc thing
Discus.
or whatever.
Yeah,
and
disc
for
guy.
years they never knew. In the toy box, it was like, is that because it's so pixelated? People never knew. And then in this remake, they showed that same shot, and it's that thing. And
So
they
do
were
you
like,
think it's gonna be a 1-in-1 remake?
Yeah, I think
I
they'll do
heard
like
it
Link's
looked
Awakening.
pretty like exact.
I think it's exact for the Link's Awakening, kind of how they did that. So
That's awesome.
very cool. And then the other big game was
yeah.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which I am excited about because in our friend group we've played the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, the 3D or the 3D World, all these other games where you could play co-op, and you just scream at each other to jump off the ledge, kill yourself because you miss one of the coins. Because you get 3 coins per level, but if it shows up like we missed the second, it's like, where's the second one? And we get the third. We're near the end of the level. It's like, we have to go back.
gotta restart.
We have to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're just all just jumping off the ledges. And in what they did on the Wii one, I think it was the Wii, you would collide with each other.
Oh yeah.
So
collision.
everyone's trying to get up on the ledge and whatever, and there was collision, so you'd knock each other off the ledge. It was pandemonium. You would just be so mad at the person that you're playing with.
Yeah.
And that is what is exciting me, because in this one, someone took a screenshot and saw in the gameplay, you're sharing lives. So if someone like keeps dying, you're just going to scream at that person. Like it's all everybody working together on those lives.
To me, that all sounds cool. Like what excited me about this was even nothing to do with that. It was 2D Mario's to me have always been kind of. I feel like their best years are past them. That's how I've always felt. Like okay, Super Mario World was really good. Super Mario Brothers 3 was really good.
Yeah.
Those new
The
Super
Wii
Mario
and the Wii U
Brothers
series,
U,
yeah,
they seemed so skippable.
Yeah,
I'm sure
they
they
are.
were fun. I like
They're
3D
fun co-op.
World, but that's more 3D.
Yeah.
This is the first time I saw a 2D Mario game, and I was like, oh, I want to play that.
Yeah.
The art
The
style,
art style is incredible.
beautiful.
Yeah, it looks
it's very different.
That
it's
was
very
that was the first thing I
expressive.
noticed about it is that it does that kind of cheat angle that looks like art of the of the manuals and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
that
it's a
cheat
good
angle that
comparison.
they're doing, and I'm like,
And just the
That's
fluid animations, the little enemies were like talking, which was weird.
Yeah.
And it was very psychedelic and
Yeah.
strange. And it seems like they're going to do
Elephant
a lot
Mario.
of unique
Yeah,
that
was really funny.
unique kind of level things. So I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I can't-
co-op's a plus. Like
I
that
can't
game
wait to
looks
play
good.
that with all of you guys, like on a couch, on
Yeah.
a co-op. That is the way to play those games. I've never played any of those Wii games alone. Like,
Yeah,
it's just getting everybody together and
yeah.
so excited. So, thank
Looks
you,
good.
Nintendo.
Good
I
job,
can't-
Nintendo. There
wait.
is a big disappointment coming out of this. I don't know if you
Okay.
guys noticed it. It
What
starts
happened?
with an M. Do you guys
No
realize?
Metroid.
No Metroid.
No Metroid.
Dead
I-
in the Water?
I think that is going to be. Here's my hope. I think they're going to launch with a new Mario on this new Switch thing, and Metroid. That would be the thing I would do.
Wasn't it like 3 years ago they announced they were restarting completely?
Maybe they're
Yeah,
ready.
Something like that.
So it takes 4 or 5 years to make a game these days. So
I don't know.
You don't
We'll
think we would
see.
have gotten like anything? Like any update?
I
a smidge?
that if I was a betting man, if I was a hoping man, I would launch with.
what happened with Bayonetta 3? I felt like it got announced and we didn't hear anything for like 6 years, and then it was coming out.
Yeah.
like I think that's kind of how those go sometimes.
Yeah.
I get it. I was just curious. Like
I don't think it's
I noticed
dead.
that.
If it was dead, I think they would announce it's canceled.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think it's dead. But man, it would be really smart because on the Switch they launched with you got a Mario and then you got a Zelda. Whatever you were into,
Yeah.
people weren't into Zelda. It's okay. You got
There's
this
just-
kind of mass mainstream property of Mario. Do that again. Do a new Mario and then have a Metroid. Dude, you'll sell a jillion of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just two properties. Like Metro is always one of those properties I wish they dipped into, but they dipped into just enough. But they didn't sell well.
They don't sell
Corey did.
good.
Yeah.
But
But
the
this
other-
Dread did really good.
Yeah, Dread did well. The other two things I've always thought about was like, man, I really wish they would find a way to utilize Star Fox again.
Oh, yeah, that has
I actually
not-
went back and played Star Fox Assault on the GameCube, and I'm about to play Star Fox Adventures, and Adventures is good. I remember playing it growing up.
I remember playing that at my friend's house.
Yeah, and I was like,
never
Adventures
had
is
it.
really good. And then F-Zero, man, I don't know why in the world we haven't gotten an F-Zero racing game on the Switch. I feel like that's a perfect platform.
Oh, that's even more dead.
Like, yeah,
I think the
it's
last
so
one
dead.
was GameCube.
It was GameCube.
I'm wondering if the new Switch or whatever it is will launch with a new Mario Kart, because we didn't get a new one this entire
They gave you
generation.
DLC on this one.
I think
Well, that's great.
they've poured so much into this DLC that I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know that they'll ever make another Mario Kart.
Or a
to
Smash
be honest.
Brothers.
No, that's what Smash Brothers feels that way too. Though, it's like at some point you've reached like the pinnacle of like a series, and you're like, how do we keep?
Well,
Upping this.
what will probably happen is they may skip a generation without a Smash Brothers, or
I
they'll just
bet
port,
they will.
or they'll port
They'll
it.
port it. Well, I
Or
saw
they'll port
an
the Switch
article.
one or whatever.
I think I saw an article today where they said Nintendo's working on finding a way to allow Switch users to take their Nintendo account to their next console. I think that's what it said
Oh.
about IGN.
Well,
I'll
I
have to
hope
find
that
the
freaking
article.
Nintendo Switch Online would get those same.
Well, that's what they're
games.
saying. I
That
think
has
they're-
to be in there.
They're saying
now.
they're trying to find a way to make sure those like Switch users aren't just left in the dust with all their Switch games. Because, like, in my opinion, that is true. They've put so many games out here on the Switch, and just to drop them dead, that'd suck. It happens every generation, though.
Yeah, Nintendo always. I mean, Travis is—he's like, you're not gonna be able to play. You're not playing.
trust them. I don't trust them.
They've only let us down every generation.
I've been saying my expectation is you're starting over. That's my expectation, because I don't trust them any further than I can throw them.
Well, but the last backwards compatible stuff
Was the
they did
Wii.
was the Wii.
The Wii.
The Wii and the
No,
3DS.
the Wii U. The Wii
and
U was
3.
backwards compatible with the Wii. Remember?
Oh, you're right.
It was
The
backwards
problem
compatible with the Wii.
Okay,
is
I take that back. They're
the
gonna do it.
The problem is that the
It's
Switch.
due.
You get 2 generations, I think, because you got like the Wii U,
Yeah.
you got GameCube to Wii. Well,
The problem
No,
is
no.
the Switch.
yeah, and then you didn't get GameCube to that. You only got
the
like
way
the fast one.
that it packages its games. Modern Vintage Gamer has a really good video on will the Switch be backwards compatible, yes or no. And he's developed games for the Switch and ported games to the Switch, and he has said there's a few routes they could go, but his most likely scenario is it will not be backwards compatible, because I think it's the Integra chip, the thing that is the GPU in the Switch.
Yeah.
It is not going to be the GPU in the next thing, and it has certain things you have to hard code in to put games on that thing.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's
already
like-
preparing that.
So
none of those
his
Switch games will be
scenarios. Go watch the video, because he's a great YouTuber and
Yeah.
he's very technical, and I'm not. His scenarios were scenario A, what he thinks is most likely, there will be just no backwards compatibility. It will just be a restart.
that's how it's going to be.
Scenario B is they will do a slow process of porting certain games, and that will be like a hype cycle that directs we're porting these games and they're now going to be accessible.
And you can buy them again.
And scenario 3, he said, which he thinks is the least likely but would solve the problem, is they fully emulate the Switch on this new console and just let you bring the games over and emulate them. And he says Nintendo
is not going to do
that. Ever had an openness to doing that kind of thing. Except that maybe with the Virtual Console, they did a little bit of that.
Dude, the Virtual Console and the Wii was the greatest thing ever.
But that's different because those are really old games. They are emulating, I think, is how some of this.
Yeah.
I think that we have got. They have.
So those don't sound like great scenarios, but
they've done. Because with the Wii, okay, Virtual Console, cool. But then you, like the Wii U, you had to rebuy those or pay like a fee to get those ports.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing, and then you
just
lost.
Let me keep paying $3 a year.
So
for
with
Nintendo
now that Nintendo Switch Online
Netflix
is out, I am not accepting that won't be on the next one. That virtual stuff will be on there.
If they slowly re-release all those things again, like
it's not allowed anymore. It's not allowed anymore.
Yeah,
it's been extremely slow.
No, I'm shutting you down.
Honestly, at this point, I think the Nintendo Switch Online is the beta for their new console and how they're going to handle it, because they have not really tried hard to put games out for the Switch that are old. They just slow rolled a few.
I'm really sad that they never brought over the Wind Waker and the Twilight Princess remasters.
Nope.
Yeah,
they're like, nah, we'll let that live in the
I think that's on the back.
Because I would buy that right now, but I'm good.
Nintendo has said numerous times their least favorite version of Legend of Zelda is the Wind Waker version.
But they just remastered it.
They for the Wii U forever ago.
That was right before the Switch came out.
I'll send you there's an article that was it was translated from Japanese, and they said that one didn't sell well. It was in the direction we wanted to go. This is why we did Twilight Princess. Exactly what they said.
You know what I want out of the next Zelda? Make that thing realistic.
No,
have like a realistic
that thing linear.
Make that thing like great. Yeah, make it linear for sure.
We're ready to talk about
Tears of the freaking Kingdom. Man.
Yeah, make it realistic and make it like whatever. I'm ready because I like the style of Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, but I'm ready for now I feel the same as I did as a kid playing Wind Waker. I was like, okay, pretty fun, okay. But when Twilight Princess, people screamed because it was the more gritty style. So
I think
Nintendo, listen to me.
We're all playing Tears of the Kingdom. I am on my way to my third official big giant baddie, but I can tell you this: I have 10 hearts. And I have 2 rings of stamina.
I think I'm catching up to you now.
You probably are. I have the complete. We are some spoilers. We're gonna.
Some spoilers.
Are you done with the game?
No.
No. What are you talking about?
Have you been?
No spoilers.
No. Oh, come on.
I've done one dungeon.
Say the dungeons and stuff. I've done 2.
I've done 2.
I've done one dungeon.
The wind.
Well, I don't have any major. Have you been
fire.
in the sky, and you've been in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been in the depths.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that was spoiler.
Yeah, the chasm.
Yeah, so I've completely opened the chasm map up. I spent
That takes forever. I'm trying to do it, and it's so
Dude,
big. It's so big.
Gosh, bro, I went through so many bloom seeds. But when you get okay. Yeah, so I've opened that up, and then so I mean I'm pretty engulfed in this game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So last time, famously, very famous, me and Travis were not gelling with this game at all. And it was Jacob and Devin versus us. Mm-hmm. And we did a bloody battle. Go watch that other podcast. There was fists thrown.
Hey, I tried to name that in the editing. I tried to name it Tears of the DweeBros, and you changed the title.
Wow.
That was a better podcast title,
what did
bro.
I rename
I don't
it?
know, like something nuts and bolts of the DweeBros or so. You changed it to something stupid.
I was laughing at him.
Bro, Tears of the DweeBros is perfect because we were divided.
That is funny. Okay, that is fine. Maybe
so if you liked my title, go back and comment.
Yeah, go back and comment. Change it back.
You don't have to change it.
I'll do George Lucas special edition of the podcast.
Because normally I don't put a name in there. I just leave it to you. But that one stuck out to me. Then you changed it.
You
So
were
this
like,
guy.
Like you have no creative control in this.
It's like, come on, man. Tears of the DweeBros was perfect.
So these two.
But I
really
have been
enjoying
cracking up. It wasn't even that funny, but we kept referring to it as Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, or it's similar to that. But I don't know. It's not even that funny. But you saying on the podcast last time was I kept thinking of it. You were like, Yeah, it's like bolts and nuts. And then
Bolts
for some
and
reason, it's not even that
nuts.
funny, but the way saying that wrong was cracking me up. But
I remember. I almost said it today. I was saying like, yeah, dude, bolts and I was
like
like, wait a
bolts and
minute.
nuts.
And I just shut up right there.
But yeah, I gave it another chance. I got out of my we'll talk more walkathon, the famous Walking Dead walkathon I'm doing. But I was like, you know what? Let's sit down. I got my mind right, and I played this at multiple sessions, handheld and just on the on my TV. And I'm really freaking enjoying it. And what finally clicked with me was I just had to stop kind of doing shrines or trying to figure out what the chasms were, and I just started going towards like the dungeons. Once I did that, I was like, oh, this. Well, for one, the dungeons are confirmed 1,000 times better than Breath of the Wild. So much freaking better. Yeah. Because on Breath of the Wild, it's like you're in the same kind of animal structure thing, and it just was samey. You know what I mean? Whereas these are they have their own feel to them. At least the two I've done, it's like they're very different.
And I've only done one. I did the wind one.
Okay.
I've done the wind one.
And I haven't done the wind one yet.
You haven't?
No.
I would just say it's different. It's not like an animal, and I did like it, but it was like shorter than I was expecting. Is that one short compared to the others?
Okay. The two
Maybe
I've
don't
done,
answer. I don't know.
No, the two I've done, they felt short.
Okay. I felt like
Water
I
and
was hearing
Fire
people
I did was
say
pretty
like
involved.
these are
See, I
like
haven't done those
real.
yet.
Okay.
I've heard people say these are like real temples, and after I did this, I was like, this was fun. It was better than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But I'm not down on it.
The build up to the one temple,
the
though,
build
was
up
fun.
was amazing.
Well, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I liked it. It just
And that's actually been really fun
it was
too.
like a little puzzle box, like coming at it from different angles and figuring
the
out
build
what I
up
need to do.
to the dungeons I've done have both been really freaking good, and then the temple's been really fun too.
Yeah.
But I would say the water one, the build up was like, oh my
You
gosh,
guys are gonna
so much
do
freaking fun.
the light temple, and like right before the light temple, something happens, and you both are gonna get really giddy
Yeah.
because you're gonna be like, "This happens in a Zelda game."
Yeah,
it's really cool.
That's cool.
There's been some cool stuff and like cool stuff I've seen in this one. Like we were talking about, like you can find like tears, and I was like, I've never even seen what you're talking about, and I mentioned something else without going spoiler, and I was like, yeah, I saw this thing and I shot an arrow through it, and I like that was kind of what I was supposed to do, and I like kind of discovered this weird thing on my own, and that's really cool. But the building stuff at first was obnoxious, and it's still at times you're like, oh, I don't want to really build.
Yeah.
But there's other times like this past time I played, like I built like a hover bike. I built this thing and like went in the chasms, and I was like going through the darkness. I didn't even know where I was flying at. But like all this cool stuff you can build, it's like, oh. And then there was another time in one of the temples I was like, I don't know how to do this. It's not letting me do this thing. I need to get to this place. And I was like, and I looked on the map. I was like, right there's where the thing is. I'm going to glide over and climb this because I have enough stamina, and I got up to where I need it and cheated the whole thing.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, this has like the fun I love in Half-Life 2 of physics-based puzzles, and they have a ton of that, but you also can manipulate the game and kind of, if you're smart enough, if you're like, and can outsmart it, you can outsmart it. It lets you outsmart the game, and I was like, dang on, like, okay, this game is doing something for me now. Like, oof.
Did you get all of your abilities yet?
I don't think I have either.
Don't think I have.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I really do. I like the game. I just had life stuff going on.
Yeah.
I just have not had time to sit and play it a lot.
Yeah,
so,
I haven't either. I'm with you.
So I finally this weekend was like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to just take a few hours, and I did the Wind Temple. I had done the lead up during that week leading up to the weekend. So
we always do. I think with Breath of the Wild, we also were in different things.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do that one yet. I went in the top corner.
Yeah. So I agree with what you're saying. I was not gelling with this game when I was just bumbling around with shrines, because that's what was my favorite thing about the last one was the shrines. So I wanted to jump in right into
it's such a new
shrines.
experience, I think.
But that was, I mean, some of the shrines I liked, but that was not doing it for me in this game. The depths, my first go around, was interesting, but not really doing it for me. So now that I'm doing the story, it's going better. But I don't feel like this compelling need yet to keep playing. So maybe the story's getting a little more interesting. So we'll see kind of how that starts to come together. And it's a good game.
Yeah,
it's a good game. Is how I feel right now.
Yeah.
But,
I'm honestly, there's one thing in this game, the ability it gives you, and I've been working on something. I'm basically building my own Gundam suit. I have a goal. I want to go and fight Ganon in this Gundam suit. That's been my goal the entire time. So I'm working on building it, and it has been a process because like it's been trial and error. But I have the lakes working now.
Nice.
So now I'm working on the rest of it to figure out how that's going to work.
That's really cool.
So it's really awesome.
I do really want to say I do like the ascend ability. That's grown on me a
that's
lot.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
grown on because these temples, like the one I did, a big part of it is like, well, I need to get kind of in this room, but like it's kind of in between all these things.
Yep.
And oh well, if I ascend from here, I'm outside the room, and like that part of it's really cool. I
Yeah.
really like that.
Ascend-
I've cheated too. Of like, oh wait, I can
Yeah.
ascend through here, and
Yeah.
I like go
Ascend and Fuse. The Fuse one, man, has just been absolutely fun.
Fuse, I wish was easier to get to. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. When I like am shooting an arrow, I just hit a button and I attach a material. It's like easy. With the if I want to like attach something to my sword, I have to drop it first, choose the fuse ability, and then
What?
and then connect it.
You
Is there
press-
something easier
if
to
you're
do?
holding your sword,
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there
press
something easier?
fuse,
Yep.
and then go up near it, and it'll say a button to press to just fuse it to your sword.
But what I'm saying is that I have to have it. I have to have.
No, that's the only way you can do it.
Okay, yeah.
What do you
have to
do?
So
It has to be on the ground.
So if you let's say you have a Bobakin horn, all right.
Oh,
You have to drop
the
it.
thing
Yeah,
wanna
and you have
mix.
you have to
fuse
drop
it.
it first.
Well,
because sometimes I'm in the heat of battle, and that's why I've been using arrows more in this one because I can immediately have the arrow.
Have you ever thought
attached
about
to the thing?
So you know you can throw stuff at people. You ever thought about throwing it at them, then attacking them, then fusing it in the middle
Oh,
of the attack?
I guess you could do that.
I'm
yeah.
just joking. That seems convoluted.
Is that what you do?
No,
It is better for
I just leave
arrows.
my stuff
I will
fused.
say it's better for arrows, but
I wish there was an easier way to do the same thing I'm doing with the arrow.
But the problem with the arrows and your item up on the D-pad in general is it is a forever long string of
That
every single
sucks.
thing.
Inventory
It's
is
like, give me
awful.
a freaking grid.
Grid. It needs
like,
a grid. It needs a grid.
Why in the
God,
world?
like,
To the point-
And then the game is like, oh, don't you know you can just press up to drop the zone item? I said, yeah, I freaking know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to open the menu to the
Takes
grid
forever
so
for me to
I
get
can
to the zone
it.
item.
What I do is you can sort. You can press Y.
Yeah,
to
but that's
sort on
still-
that, but it's still not perfect.
Maybe I should try that.
I
Maybe
have
there's
so
ways.
much junk.
I sort, but I kind of have to just kind of gamble.
I went
and
through,
go
and
over
one of the nights I had 30 minutes. I just cooked a bunch of stuff and got rid of a bunch of stuff, and that's what I did with my time to play because I had so much junk
Hey,
I
what'd you do
picked
today,
up.
Lon? I just cooked stuff.
I
on
cooked
man.
stuff.
on Tears of the Kingdom.
Dude, if you don't have cooked stuff and you go into these dungeons, I
You're
got
so done.
tore
oh,
asunder.
yeah,
You're done.
you get torched.
I
You
was
better get
like-
that Instapot out.
I was eating like the dirtiest food, like just trying to live.
I hope by
like,
next podcast you guys get far enough to where we can talk about one specific ability because
I'll
it's really
make that
awesome.
my goal to get further. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
I mean,
this
I'm
is
moving along.
structured similar where you do the 4 dungeons and then
Yeah, I'm 2 out of
Well,
2.
one of
so.
the abilities you should have gotten early on if you did it right, which I'm guessing you both didn't do. So that's okay. It's just you need to get.
I got an
Is it recall?
Nope.
Oh, well, I don't have it. Then.
so there's recall, there's ultra
Oh,
hand,
Yep.
there's
Arise.
Fuse, arise.
There's yeah.
and
You're
Fuse.
missing one.
And
Well, I got one.
We're missing one.
I don't really consider it an ability. It's
What is
something
it?
you could do in the last game.
What is it?
Like,
The camera?
yeah,
No, that's not it.
it's on the ability wheel.
Yeah, that's not the one. No, there's literally an ability. It's in the bottom right corner of the wheel.
yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, you guys need to get that
Okay.
because it changes the freaking game.
Okay. I
Completely.
might even know what it is, but I want to wait till.
Yeah.
You get it
I'm
on the
gonna-
main story path.
If you follow the depth story path,
Okay.
Well,
Okay, then
I
I will
was
get it
doing
next
that.
time if that's where that's
yeah,
going to be. At.
it's
What do you mean the depth story path?
There's
I went
stuff-
in the depths.
Without spoiling stuff, because the chasms, if you have your map, it just
It's
is black,
infinite
right?
black.
It's
Yeah.
just black.
I started
certain
I started
stuff-
linking it together with the little.
Well,
light
not
things.
that. Certain stuff you'll like. I don't even know what it is if you like stuff with the store. I think I got it from a temple or whatever. They start to like put a mark on the map or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know what's there yet.
So,
all they did
yeah.
is kind of
Okay,
mark
I'll
it,
just
and
look
they'll
for
put
that.
stamps and they'll put stuff there. Like,
Yeah.
to-
I'll look for
check it
that
out.
then. Okay.
because it's a really awesome ability. And
Well, I
it
know
makes
there's
my life
something
way
down
easier.
there because have any of you guys gone back to the Great Plateau?
No,
Yes,
no.
Well,
we will have
Funny,
an
this is
interview.
such a hard game
that
to
was
talk
one
about.
of the first things I wanted to do was go
To
back
see
to
what
the,
was
yeah,
there.
Yeah, so I went back to the Great Plateau, and there was a thing there that kind of led me to wonder something about something in the depths.
Oh, okay.
But
Maybe. I'll
it
check
was
that
very
out.
much like I would love to give you this, but I can't give it to you because you haven't found X Y Z in the depths yet. And I'm like, what the heck is X Y Z?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, and I was like, okay, so it was like, I guess I'll find that later.
the game has so much to it that like it's crazy because we're both on so many different paths. And like I said, I did not love Breath of the Wild. I'm enjoying this a lot more than Breath of the Wild, but it's because of the absolute kookiness.
Yeah, you get to kind of
Love it.
make
Yeah.
a lot more crazy
It's
stuff.
100%. But I'm telling you right now, the next Legend of Zelda game better be a dang linear game.
Please, yeah.
I'm liking this, but
It has to be linear.
I saw people on Reset Air, and they were like, "I would do a third game with this style in
No
this
freaking
map."
way.
And I
No.
said, "Get the heck
No.
out of here."
No,
No.
I would legitimately skip it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so sad because I don't think
and
I've
I don't
ever
think
have.
they'll do it. I don't think they will do another open
I don't think
world
they kill
for a
something.
while.
This is shaping up to be a 150 hour game. The last one was 150.
I don't even
game.
think Nintendo wants to make another open world after this. I think they will do a linear, or they'll do a semi-open world Final Fantasy 16 style of like,
Yeah.
they might give you big areas to explore, but you're going to be more linear next time. Because people are going to get burnt out on this open world
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, it
don't
just
know.
doesn't.
So,
I think they peaked.
yeah. They peak with the open world stuff for now. What the heck else was? I think that's.
I mean, that's pretty much the major things we've played. I know. I've.
I've been playing something.
You want to
yeah.
talk about yours?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you've been
so I
playing
went ahead and started up in the midst of not finding time to play Zelda. I started playing Mass Effect 2.
Hey, great job, man! High five right here. Good
Well,
job,
because
man.
the Starfield,
yeah.
the Starfield thing, it like activated.
The space in you.
So like, I mean, it's a weird comparison. Like the biological clock that gets set off. Like, oh, I'm too old. I can't have kids. I'm gonna have kids when you never wanted kids. Like,
Yeah.
the Starfield thing made me go, oh, if I don't go play Mass Effect 2, like it's gonna expire.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be.
Yeah,
Like,
you'll
It'll
never.
disappear.
I'll
play it.
never like it as
Yeah.
much as I will right now. It's so funny, but that's what happened. So I was like, I'm starting this game, and I'm in a space mood. I'm just in more of a space mood right now in general.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
fair.
really in like a swords and all this stuff mood. So I started Mass Effect 2. I have tried a couple times with this game. I
Yeah.
tried when I was in high school, and I was immediately put off because everything felt like it was a hallway, and I was used to exploring,
Yeah.
and going to different planets. And I tried it again a few years ago when we lived together. And I liked it, but I was, again, just like, man, like, they're not giving me any freedom. They're like, here's your mission. You go here. And then it was like almost mission based. At the
Yeah.
end of the mission, they give you like a mission recap with like
Mhm.
points and like money earned. And I was like, I just don't like this. Well, maybe it's just I've matured, but like now I'm at the point where Zelda is giving me so much freedom that like I start this game, they're like, you can go 3 places. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm over it.
Direction.
Yeah. So I started up Mass Effect 2 and I'm loving it, man.
It's so good, dude.
They're like, you can go to these 3 places, and I'm like, cool.
Things have gotten so bad.
Yeah.
Travis has gone back around to like, I love this.
Yeah,
actually love
I was
this.
like, I'll go to these 3 places, and getting. I think the other thing that's finally clicked, and in Mass Effect 1, it was a plot first game,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had these really good companions that like naturally would pop up at different parts in your playthrough.
Yeah.
Like you would get a couple here. You got Liara at one of like Novaria or something,
Yeah.
and so to me, it wasn't like. And that was part of a lineage of games. Like Knights of the Old Republic was their game before that, and it was the same way. You had a very concrete story you're going through, and then people would join your team, and you never quite
Along the
knew.
way.
And you would never know when you start talking to someone, is this someone that's going to join my team? And then when you get that option, you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I've always had a problem with Mass Effect 2 of you start the game and you're working for Satan. I don't know who this guy is. He's just like evil smoking man. from
Illusionist.
the
Smoking man.
X-Files.
The illusionist.
And I do like him, but they immediately are like, here's 8 people, here's a dossier on them, go find them. And that always bothered me. I was always like, what's the story? Why should I go find these people? And so that always bothered me. But now I think I'm older and I understand like maybe a little more of the story they're trying to tell.
It's a larger arcing
He
thing.
had a team and he lost his
Yes.
team. And I caught this line that's go around and they're like, you need to go save the world. It's like, I need a team. And they're like, yeah, we thought about that. It's almost like in Ocean's 11 when it's like, we need
yeah.
to go rob the bank. I need a team.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, here's the 8 people. Here's the 10 people. So now that I understand that, I'm realizing with Mass Effect 2, the story is getting the team.
Yep.
And I had just played other BioWare games where the getting the team was something that was part of the, like, in the midst of the rest of the plot.
Yep.
I feel like the story is getting the team. That is what this is. And then you go on this mission. So
And I think
I don't know how to explain it any better than that.
No, you're
It's
100%.
taken me a long time to understand
spot
that's
on.
what they're trying to do. And I just always was like, I don't know what the point.
There's
of any of
one
this is.
mission you are alive to do,
Yeah.
and the rest of it's like all filler. And you're like, how is that
Yeah,
happening?
it does. It is kind of it's filler if the point you're focused on is what's going on.
I just need to do the one
plot.
mission. Yeah.
And that was, I felt like the first game was very sci-fi, high sci-fi, these crazy concepts. This game is like, we'll get to that at the end. Go meet these people. So, anyway, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, if you like all that stuff, I think Mass Effect 3, without spoiling anything, kind of cranks that up to 11. Because for me personally, what I remember of that, like, yeah, what you're saying with Mass Effect 2, in 3, they're like, okay, wait, we get to do this? We get to go do X, Y, Z thing? Oh my gosh. Because you've taken those 2 games and all those years, at least when I was playing them, you know, as they came out, it's like, oh, we get to see this. Oh my gosh, because they put such a freaking lore around this thing or whatever. And 3, they kind of let you loose on that.
Yeah,
I think the evolution of these games are like it's cinematic. It's like so beautiful because like episode 1, you had a clear story, but you can go like you can do some good things, you can do some bad things, but it didn't really affect a ton of stuff from dialogue options. Mass Effect 2, like you have a whole world at your fingertips, and they're like, go hit up the world. That's what they're saying. Like, go experience everything we have in this universe. Be a good guy, be a bad guy. See what happens when you do either one of them. And then here's the ending of the story. Here's the mission. That's it. That's all it is. Because Mass Effect 3 is like, all right, now let's really end this story. Here's the whole story.
Yeah, let's crank
you
it up.
know everyone in the universe. You know everybody now. Let's end it.
yeah.
You know, literally, I think the tagline was "End it." For Mass Effect 3 was "End it." So like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is definitively my all-time favorite game. There is never going to be another game that I have enjoyed more in my life than Mass Effect 2.
That's probably my favorite of the series for sure. Is 2. But I think 3 does so much fun stuff.
The characters.
And 1 I didn't hate. 1 I just think they got kind of, I liked them as they went along too.
The characters are phenomenal.
I'll always have a soft spot for 1 because it's basically Knights of the Old Republic. With the Knights of the Old Republic's still an amazing game, but 2 just does such a better.
The combat's so much better, so much more challenging.
It is better combat.
Yeah,
it is better combat.
They add so many more elements into what you can actually do with your powers. But like I said, the characters, I fell in love with every single one of those characters. And I just wanted to spend time with them and get to know them. And I don't know, it's so weird.
They do have a secret sauce with the dialogue. Because every time I go to start one of these, I'm like, I'm kind of over talking to like fake people. You know what I mean? Like,
but you want
because
to.
Horizon, oh my god, the latest Horizon, Forbidden Fart, whatever
Forbidden
it was called.
Fart, yeah.
Sorry, a lot of people worked really hard on that game. Horizon Forbidden West, 8,000 people worked 80 hours a week, and Jason Schreier wrote an expose, and I called it Horizon Fart. Forbidden West had these people, these companions, and the graphics are amazing, and like I could not stand talking to those people.
Yeah.
I could not stand it. They bored me. They were so self-serious. And I was going in this as like, am I just going to like go through what I have to and just like maybe focus more on the world part of it? And they get you. You start asking them questions. There's a snappiness to the Mass Effect way of doing it. They're just better at, or they were. I don't know what they are good at now. BioWare's in a weird place. But at that time, they were just better at it than anybody else. The only people that really, I think, hold that torch now is CD Projekt Red. Because I think The Witcher and I think Cyberpunk were pretty good at that, too, of you like talking
You wanted
to
to talk to, because it was always, you went 180 from what you thought it was going to be.
Yes. Because Mass Effect, like, you'll go back a layer and then there's 8 options, and no other game am I, like, clicking on those things. But I am finding myself... Some of them I am saying, this like random like street vendor, like I'm not like making small talk with this guy. Like there's options, I'm sure there's funny things. But like I'm not asking him where he's from and all this.
After every mission, it got into my DNA, I would go around and talk to every single one of my crew members.
I'm kind of doing that,
because I run this ship and I need to know how my crew's doing. That's how I told myself, I need to know how my crew's doing. So every mission I go on there like, all right, I crack my back, I'd lean forward. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to the front of the ship.
They nail that fantasy of being the captain of the ship.
I love that little globe in the middle or whatever that is thing. I forgot what it looks like.
It's a cool thing. So
you will benefit a lot from this game just getting to know the people.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're playing it. I have been playing a game. It's actually the open beta for X Defiant, Ubisoft's shooter, the COD killer.
The COD killer.
The COD killer.
Coming for the throat.
The open beta dropped this past weekend, and I went ahead and jumped in and played it, and it's good. It's a good shooter.
Is it over the shoulder?
What do you mean?
X-Defiant, or is it first person? It is
First
first
person.
person? I have not seen anything on this
It's
game.
first person, and it reminds
thinking
me of
of
a mix
the-
of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 between the two of them.
Oh, wow.
Like, the colors are vibrant, the shooters are good. But here's the thing that they did that's different. They took all of their main IPs and created factions in this game. So Tom Clancy, Far Cry, what are the other two?
Little Splinter Cell.
Yeah, they had Splinter Cell. There's two more they have.
Rainbow
Watch Dogs.
Six, Ghost
and
Recon.
No, that's part of the Tom Clancy one.
Oh.
Watch Dogs, and then The Division. They took
That's what I was about to ask. That was like, what is the game that starts with
The
a D?
Division, which that one's not as popular. But they took 4 of those factions, and you can join a faction and represent that faction in this
That's
game, which was really cool because they all have special abilities. One, like, you can throw infinite grenades. One, you can transform into a teammate, another one of your person's teammates, and fool their team, which is like Watch Dogs. Whereas, like, Splinter Cell, you have goggles where you can see through walls and see where people are at. Like, so, like, a bunch of cool little tidbits that, like, make the game a little bit more special. But it's a really good shooter. It's really crisp. It's really clean. And to be honest with you, man, COD's a turd.
Is it free?
It is completely free to play.
Nice.
It will be free to play day one and with a roadmap on how they're actually going to have over 24 maps to
Maybe
play.
we need to finally try out this. We've been playing Splitgate, our friend group. when we
Gosh,
play.
dude.
That's like our go-to shooter because it's free.
Hey, that was actually kind of
That
It's a
was really
small,
fun.
and it's a free. It's a small download. You can make a custom game very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no bull crap waiting around.
Yeah,
It's hard to unseat that.
I'm hoping X-Defiant comes out and it actually goes well because, like I said, I haven't played Call of Duty. I love shooters. It's my bread and butter. It's one of the best games I'm at. I'm really good at a good shooter. Splitgate's not a great shooter, but I like a good shooter.
I didn't say it was.
No, I know. That was a lot of fun, by the way.
It was a lot of fun.
I went to bed and my wife was like, "Do you yell like that all the
Yeah,
time?
can we
when you
please
play?"
talk about the wife situation in this? Because we all got together and we played the other night online, and Jacob is a professional trash talker, continual trash talker, some would say. And in that, he's just attacking all of us. You can't play, you don't know. He told Travis famously, "You can't spell your name." At one
No,
point.
hold on. The best part is I said, You can't spell your name. George Bush put you through school."
Yeah,
That was my exact phrase.
that's one of my favorite.
So I'm coming
insults.
back and
So
saying
Travis is like, finally, like, I'm gonna come back.
and part of the problem was Jacob was getting a lot of kills, but he was also dying a lot. So like I had 20 kills, he had 20 kills, he had 18 deaths, I had 5 deaths. So I was telling him, all you're doing is trading. You provide no value to your team. Like, we're just trash talking. And my wife comes downstairs because we're going at it. Like, I'm kind of, every time I kill him, bye Jacob,
Yeah, like,
uninstall.
yeah.
Because he's ramping up, so I start ramping up. And my wife comes downstairs, she says, "You are being so mean. Why are you being, she said, these are your friends."
And during all this, Jacob is absolutely tearing us asunder.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting torn apart by
So
Jacob.
I stopped.
And I'm cracking up going, I'm screaming, "Jess, please tell him to stop."
Yeah.
Tell
I was like,
Travis
she
to
thinks
stop.
I'm being mean, and they all start laughing. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
Zach's like,
I'm
"Please tell
dying.
him to stop."
Tell him to stop.
No, I went to bed and she just was like, "Why are you so like vocal?" Like, and I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like,
But you
On your left,
Well, that's
behind.
what she said. She's like, "All you said was like on my back, behind you, around me." And she's like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, I was just telling people where they were. And she's like, "I knew where they were. I don't know if they knew where they were." And so I was laughing because, like,
my favorite thing also is all of us collectively imitating Jacob speak for helping us to win the game. 6 o'clock. Go left. He's on his left. He's not even good. He went left. He's not even
Air.
good. Like,
air, turn.
uninstall. He has
Dog
no
water.
skill.
Dog water.
Dog water. Total dog water. So the whole time we were like, "You are dead now. You're dead now."
Well, my favorite thing too is if we are in matchmaking, if we lose, Jacob, where's the game chat? Where's the game chat? And then what you do, I know what you do. He types out, "You suck," and here's what he does. He presses enter right when we're leaving the lobby.
They just get to
You've
see
done
it.
You've done it multiple times.
They get to
You-
see it and they
you
can't reply.
I'm glad I confirmed. You hit enter 1 second before we're gonna go, and then we're out.
Everyone gets
And
to
then
see
they don't
it
get
and
a
they
chance.
can't say a word, dude.
I was like, I think I know what he's doing.
There is
love
two
that.
things I love doing. I love being competitive. I love talking crap. and I love having the last word. Like, because it just to me, I'm like, you walk away like, dang, I couldn't say anything. Like, they can't say anything.
I knew you were doing that.
Oh,
'cause
100%.
You do it right before we leave.
Dude, I hate losing.
That
it.
is so funny.
So I love XFI. It scratched that itch. It doesn't have voice chat. That was the one thing that did suck. I couldn't talk trash.
You couldn't talk trash.
I do not need voice chat with strangers ever again.
Yeah, you'll run into some Jacobs online.
Never. Again.
Dude, they're way worse than me. I'm comical. They're worse. But that's the
comical
only game,
guys.
I think that's the only game I've really been playing outside of Tears of the Kingdom. So
I think that's it for gaming.
Is that it
for me?
Gaming?
Final Fantasy 16 came out. Didn't get it's still in shrink wrap.
I have not
didn't get a chance.
Freaking single second.
I'm so freaking busy.
Street Fighter 6, not a chance.
So freaking busy. Tears of the
Diablo.
Kingdom. So I'm kind of giving Tears
Diablo,
of the Kingdom.
not even thought about it.
Yeah.
This year is ridiculous.
It's gonna be nuts.
Because the spring had so many remakes. Like I still wanted to play Metroid Prime and RE4. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
I think the fall I'll have much more time, and I'll finally just have a mountain of stuff to play.
yeah, this
so.
summer personal
summer's
life,
gone.
creative projects.
It's
I'm
gone.
just too busy.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
They gotta
this
stop
summer.
putting these games out.
But I have
this
been
time of year.
watching TV because you can just take a little bites at a time of that. Righteous Gemstones came back. That's the show about the televangelists, big mega church people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Still freaking very funny. I will give you a scenario that they are going through. So they have this family, like it's this one main guy, and he had this wife, and the wife passed away, and it's his kids. It's like Danny McBride, and I forgot what the other guy's name is. He's famous too.
Yeah.
And then their sister or whatever. But they're all just a-holes. They're terrible kids. But it's so funny to see them try to run this church and try to do stuff. And the scenario that they've like started this year is the one kid has this like very weird guy that was like a Satanist, and he turned into a Christian, but he talks like this, and he's still just kind of weird.
Soft-spoken.
He's kind of a weird guy, and he has teamed up with that other guy, and they kind of they run kind of their youth group in this one. They kind of run a thing. And last year the big thing was they just, you know how they always have the strongmen that rip the phone books in half? Yeah. They got too many of them. There's too many egos, and they got in a big like brawl and a big like battle because there was like that scenario, and they had to like fight them, and it was all this other stuff. But this year, they keep protesting at sex shops. So they're going and buying all of like the sex objects and the dildos and all this stuff and buying it in bulk. And Danny McBride's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "We're protesting." And it's like, and then one of them's like, "But they're gonna just order more."
Yeah,
they're giving them money.
They're gonna order more. So then they cut at the end of one of the episodes. And he is like throwing dildos in the fire. and Danny McBride comes out and he's like, "What are we doing out here?" And he's like, burning some of the devil's objects. And he's like, "I don't think you're supposed to be breathing in some of the devil's objects." Because like, I think that's toxic. That's from China. Like, what are you doing?
From
like,
China? What
like,
the heck?
You're like importing all this like cheap stuff.
Oh my
but, like,
gosh.
Very freaking funny still. Very funny stuff that they're building into. But
The show always looked funny.
yeah.
How are they doing this with the writer's strike?
I think they might have been done before.
I think
it was already in the can and ready. So
just sliding under the door.
More content.
Yeah, but the other thing I've watched is I Think You Should Leave.
I will.
The comedy show from, is it Tim Robinson or Tim Robbins? I can't. I think it's Robinson. I think it's Robinson. But I think he used to be on SNL for just a little bit, but he made his own show. And you've probably seen clips even on TikTok of this guy.
I've seen these.
But I saw one, and I'm watching this TikTok, and tears are streaming down my face. And I was like, time to watch it. Like, this was really freaking funny. And each episode is like 16, 17 minutes. It's almost made for like TikTok generation because it's like it's a skit show. It's very fast. You just get to see like a 3-minute skit, and you're out. And then they do the next one. But me and my wife have watched, I think, 3 episodes now, and we were, like, howling laughing at this. It's very similar to Meg 64, I would even say. Yeah. Like, it's that kind of humor, and, like...
I saw the one where he was doing the pay it forward.
Yeah.
He goes through, and he's like...
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to pay for the guy behind me. Yeah, I got this.
I got this.
And then he swings
Squills
around.
tires to go back around.
55 burgers, 55 pounds,
Somebody's
55
blocking him. He's like, get out of my way! Get out of my way!
Well, I'm ready to throw. You have to
55
let me-
burgers, 50 tacos, 50. Yeah. And then the guy behind him's like, I'm not paying for this. He's like,
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You're rich.
and then he pulls up, and the girl behind him says, 55 tacos, 55 burgers.
Yeah.
No, because as she leaves, that's like, what's going on? He's trying to pay it forward.
Yeah,
He's like, you ruined it.
But so freaking funny. Like the concepts are so fun.
So over the top.
There was
yeah.
one where they did everyone. We're doing. It was almost like a. You would actually love this. They did
Yeah.
like. It was almost like not Dancing with the Stars or like we're rating the best baby of the year. And they brought all these babies dressed as like cowboys. They're kind of slunched over. And in the audience, they're like, F you, Cowboy Dan. Or like, F you, little Dickie Jones. And they're like,
gosh.
yeah, screw him. And they're like yelling. And they're so angry at this baby. And they're like, all right, this is the part of the show where we remember the babies that have passed, that have went on. They're all 90 now. Like they like go back and they're like when they first started doing the awards. It's like, and it's like it crossfades on, and it's this old woman, and it's like little baby Dickie Jones, but it's like all these old people, but it's like little Boo Boo Jones, and it's this man, like this is like older man that has passed on, but like
I need to check this
they
out.
kept their
Sounds
Is it on
baby
funny.
Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Dang
yeah.
it. I don't have Netflix.
I don't need it.
So freaking funny. Highly recommended. We're loving it.
You
And
still get
it's-
free trials for Netflix?
maybe.
I thought they got
You
rid
might
of
do
those.
Kenny where he just creates new names.
You can get things a lot of ways.
I'll have to find a way to
You
find a
can
private
get
dealer
things
for
different
Netflix.
ways. But
That sounds
that's all I
hysterical.
watched.
God.
I watched something that Travis did, but I'll let him kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I started Twin Peaks: The Return.
But yeah. I want to hear how many episodes did you get in?
We watched 2
Watched
because I heard
2.
those first 2 kind of go together.
I told you, yeah.
and they seem like they do.
Yeah.
So, this is like years in the making.
Yeah, I've been
Getting
dying
me
get
to
this.
watch this is years in the making.
Yeah.
So the good news is I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
liking it a lot.
I'm glad after leftovers, I could rest. I was like,
Could you imagine said?
I was starting to
Could you
sweat.
imagine said?
I was like, God.
I really do like this. It feels like David Lynch. I've not seen him make anything modern because
Yeah.
Inland Empire was his last thing.
And that was 07.
So
yeah.
this is like modern, like it's a continuation of kind of the vibe of his films and Twin Peaks. I was relieved right off the bat that they open with the music and they have a new intro that's like different like visuals.
Yeah.
But it's that classic music and the font.
They kind of cut it down.
Yeah, they cut
Same
it down,
thing, but yeah.
but I was nervous because I heard that this is a lot different, and I was like, man, if they don't even have that opening music, if it's got no connection, I'm gonna feel kind of weird.
Yeah.
I felt right at home, right
Yeah,
off the
I
bat.
think the people that originally liked it are gonna.
yeah,
I think
it
everybody
feels
loved
still
it, yeah.
like Twin Peaks,
Of that.
although darker. And the first thing that dawns on you is the scope of this show
It's much bigger. It's
much
out of
bigger.
Twin Peaks.
Almost to the extent that I've seen 2 hours of it, and I am still like, I've only seen maybe 2 people in more than one scene.
Yeah.
Because they'll
A lot more new characters.
also, like, I don't know why they start the show with Dr. Jacoby getting a package, because then he is never in another scene for the rest of the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm into it, though. I thought it was cool. There's Dr. Jacoby.
Yeah.
Can't even really hear what they're talking about, but he's getting a package.
Yeah.
Like, but they show a character, do a scene with them, show another character, do a scene, and like they're going all over the place. Like this
Yeah.
guy's in New York City, these people are in South Dakota, these people are back in Twin Peaks, this is going on, this guy's in the upside down world or whatever, the lodge. But I'm really liking it. I was very intrigued right off the bat. The guy in New York that's watching this glass box.
Yeah, that's the first episode. That is such a creepy
me
concept.
David Lynch like movie vibes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is weird.
They
And
have all
then-
these cameras, Jacob, that are focused on this box, this clear
Glass
box in New York. And his job is just to sit there and watch this thing along with all these cameras. And then he takes out the camera cards and switches them out for the new. And they just watch this box.
And he's just staring
Anything
at this
in the box?
And he was like, no, he's like outside
Well,
on
you
the
don't
couch.
know. He's just watching, and then this girl keeps like wanting to come and hang out with him while
And
he
wanting to
does
see
it.
the box.
And he's kind of weird about it. He's like, no, there's a security guard, but the security guard's missing one day.
And she's like asking about, like, what do you do? And
Like
she's
day
like,
after day,
she's like, a
yeah.
really rich person owns this. I don't know. My job is to watch it. And has something happened one time.
They
here.
start hanging out, and he stops watching the box, starts watching something else.
Yeah.
They start, taking their clothes off.
And there's a turn.
And the literal scariest thing happens with this box.
Yeah.
Like this thing or whatever appears in this box and then
It's unbelievably
makes
scary,
its way out of the box. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But here's what's cool is that all felt cool,
Yeah.
but a little not like in line with Twin Peaks. I did not know where that was going. And at the end of these 2 episodes, they bring a legacy character, like probably the main character of the show, who's stuck in this kind of limbo state. And there's a payoff where he is getting kicked out of this like limbo world, and then he's in the box. And then it's like I had goosebumps. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, and they're showing these people, it's like a flashback to when they were looking at the box.
Yeah.
But then he gets sucked out. So I still don't really know what all was going on. And then there's this principal that's like, it seems like a nice guy, and then like it looks like he murdered somebody and or took their bodies apart, but then it's like he's kind of getting framed, but then they kill the person that said they were framing him like that. So there is like madness happening with some like frames.
I can't wait for you. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get farther in.
Yeah,
there is actually.
I'm very intrigued by all the stuff they're setting
There's
up.
so many like actually classic moments. Like me and my wife quote stuff all the time from the 3rd season.
Oh,
like,
dude, what the heck? I'm having trouble getting a quote, but the funniest freaking thing was these cops get called to this apartment building because this lady's like, oh, it smells so bad in there. She was supposed to be out of town, but it smells in there. They can't get in. They're knocking. Hey, like, where can I get a key? Well, Todd would have a key, but Todd's out. But Todd's out, and blah blah blah. So I don't know where you would get a key. And they're like, okay, well, what is there a manager? No, there's no manager. I mean, Jerry. He's outside right now. Blah blah blah. But he's just the maintenance guy. They're like, well, he would have a key, right? Yeah. Oh, Jerry would have a key. So the funniest thing is they go out there, and these 2 cops are like, hey, are you Jerry? And he's in an alley, and he's like, got something. He's like, oh, these mother effers. How they find out about it. He's like, what do you? He's like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? We're looking for a key for this room. Did John tell you I'm out here?
Yeah.
What did John tell you?
Yeah.
They're like, nothing. We just need a key. And he's talking to his breath like, if I go down for this, and then they finally walk away. Like, we just need a key, and they walk away. And he's like, can I leave? And they're like not arresting him. Like whatever that guy was saying was the freaking funniest thing.
Well, then the payoff is so funny. The lady's like,
she comes out. She's like, oh,
lady's like, if you want to go down there, I have the key.
I have the key. After all of that.
Yeah.
So that all reminded me of just goofy Twin Peaks stuff and
so many freaking funny moments. There was one we just saw. So much better even the second time. Just so many funny moments. But
yeah. So I'm intrigued. Yeah. It's big. The only thing I would say is it's so big in scope. I do feel like you kind of got to watch these in close succession because they'll check in with a person, I feel like, for a scene, and then you won't see them again for another episode.
Little bit, yeah, because there's so many characters, and there's even new characters and stuff they build in that's really fun. But I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Yeah, it's good.
I've been watching a couple of shows, believe it or not. The Bear season 2 dropped on Hulu, and I'm about 3 episodes in, and they picked up right where they left off, and it is amazing.
What was Bear about again?
The Bear is about the chef who came back and inherited his deceased relative's restaurant.
Okay. Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah, so he's trying to find out. He has a lot of trauma, and he's trying to find out like how he wants to handle this. And so season 2 is the upscaling. Like it's I can tell. I think that this is not going to be a long series. I can already tell that, which is awesome. Because they're already having a lot of payoff on some things. I was like, yeah, this is great. So
you're into the cooking shows like the Gordon Ramsay and stuff?
Cooking. Maya and I both love cooking shows.
Really?
It's our bread and butter. She doesn't like this one. It's a little
Does it make you want to like try the dishes that are on there, or is it what?
Oh, I love cooking.
Yeah.
I adore cooking.
Okay, you like actually love the
I love
cooking.
to cook. No, she loves it. She doesn't want to watch it. It's a little explicit, so she's not really into it, but I'm like, send it, dude. This is great. So I highly recommend it. I'm only on episode 3. It's not. I think there's only 7 episodes. So hopefully I can finish that within the next month. But it's going really well. And we've been watching Gordon Ramsay's Food All-Stars. Gordon Ramsay has his face on a lot of things. Everywhere, to be honest with you. A lot of TV shows, a lot of stinking restaurants. This one might be his newest great success.
What's he up to on this one?
He's investing in young entrepreneurs, and he's giving them a chance to win $250,000 by competing in weird challenges.
Okay.
So, I'll give you a scenario. Okay, this is the scenario. Bunch of different entrepreneurs. They're all, some are food, some aren't. And what they do is he brings them in and says, "Hey,
Do they have non-food challenges?
no, there is."
Or is it all stuff?
They're all based around food, but they're
Okay.
also based around. So, for example, one of the challenges was you have to run a ghost kitchen. He said, and then he brought Mr. Beast in as a judge to determine the winners because Mr. Beast has the number one growing ghost kitchen. So these people come in and they're all business owners and they all are just saying like, well, I'd run the business this way and I'd run the business this way. And Gordon's sitting there watching. He's like, these guys are idiots. He's like, they just don't get the idea. Like, you just have to put a burger in a stupid box and people buy it. And he's like, all you have to do. But they're trying to overcomplicate this. And so,
What is a ghost kitchen?
you don't know what a ghost kitchen
It's a
is?
place where you say you order like, I want this burger from this place or whatever, and they
I
use
call them fake restaurants.
Yeah, fake restaurants. Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Beast is all ghost kitchens. The Mr. Beast burger thing.
Yeah, he's using other different restaurants to
Yeah.
make his burger or whatever.
But he discontinued it literally this year.
Okay.
But that's how he launched.
Now
this
it's
thing.
it's a ghost kitchen.
Yeah, now it's Ghost. Well, actually, no, it's a legal issue because they can continue to order under his name. He
Oh,
can't-
really?
He came out and said, that's my biggest failure as an entrepreneur. That one I screwed up. Didn't realize what restaurant
I thought Mr.
industry.
Beast was like a YouTuber for games or something.
He does a ton of
The
stuff.
dude's
know
filthy
nothing about
rich.
him. I thought he was on the submarine.
No.
No.
Anyways, so basically, after the end of the
He
challenge,
would send someone else down there to try that thing.
Gordon sees
I'll give you
who's most
$1,000.
profitable. So the Apprentice was built this way, kind of. So whoever's side was most profitable, they're the winners. And then the non-profitable side go into the grilling. And it's a one-on-one interview with Gordon Ramsay where he grills them about everything that happened today. And he said, why did you choose this over this when you could have saved this much dollars? Explain this to me. And then so like there's this 20-year-old kid who's like, it just looked good. Like, I don't know, he just looked good. He's like, do you not ever think with your like brain? He's like, well, and I think about what people want, but like, it just looked good. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, I don't think you understand. So it's just a one-on-one interview, and he's just grilling them, and at the end of the day, he kicks one of them off.
Oh wow!
That sounds kind of cool.
They
Yeah.
he grills them, and then kicks them off.
Are these
Yeah.
Gen Z kids?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to take his crap.
They're
Like,
young entrepreneurs.
yeah.
No, but there's a girl, and so there was a
like
girl.
they'll give it back to him.
There's a girl named Queen that is hysterical, and she is, she is not the person that's going to get invested into, but she's great for TV right now.
Oh, dude.
That sounds so fun. They just did an episode where they had to host an outdoor adventure. So like you had to come up with an adventure you want to take everyone on, and you want to come up with a meal you want to feed everybody, and how you're going to host them. I kid you not, one of the sides got lost. They were in UTVs and they couldn't find where they were supposed to go, and they drove around for 3 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it was really good. It's really, honestly, it's just a good
Sounds
Gordon
fun.
Ramsay show.
Nice.
I'm really enjoying it. It's a really relaxing show.
He's good at food and he's good at TV.
He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get his face out there. Like I said, last TV show, and it's just an honest opinion. I want to open a room up for discussion.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to come to a close. So here's what I want to say. Just finished Survivor, season 7, legendary season 7. Had some
So
of the
you're like
players-
going back and watching vintage.
Yeah, we're
seasons.
watching
Okay.
vintage. We're just catching up, and just because it's easy just to watch.
Yeah.
Has Johnny Fairplay.
Ooh, I
the-
love Johnny
Fairplay.
As a kid, hated him. As an
Bro,
adult, so freaking funny.
I remember as a kid, like everything. It started to come to me what happened. I forgot what he did.
Oh, I know. I remember what he did.
I forgot the biggest lie ever. And I'm sitting there, and he told it, and my eyes like, I really hated
For
him.
those that don't know, they had a challenge, or they had something to where it's like you can get an immunity idol, or I forgot
No,
what it
you
was.
get to hang out with your spouse for 24 hours.
Or a person.
Or a person that they bring
one
in.
person you can bring on.
His
That's what it
friend
was.
shows up on the show, and he walks up, and he's like, hey, how's grandma? And he looks at her, he's like, dude, she died. And he starts crying.
And Johnny Fairplay starts crying.
And so they go like, what happened? He's like, I knew it'd either be my friend or my grandma. And so when my friend showed up, I just knew. And everyone's like, we need to let him win.
Yeah, so everybody kind of forfeits and lets this guy take the win. And then you're like, wow, they let him win.
And
That was so
Maya's
nice.
Maya's tearing
Yeah,
up. She's
Because
like,
he lied.
that's so nice.
And the TV they're walking on, and he's like, I can't believe they bought that. And as a kid, you're just like dumbfounded.
And Maya's like, I hope he dies, dude. So hey, and Sandra, one of the ladies, like, I don't believe him. she's like, I don't
shoot.
care. But he's walking. He's like, I told them since day one, you're coming on this show, and if you do, we're telling them my grandma died.
Oh,
if I
my
make it this
gosh.
far. And he knew, like, this dude was so far.
Did he end
ahead.
up winning?
No,
he got really
he got
far.
close. He got close.
He got very close.
But it had
but-
Rupert.
Did
Had
they ever
Sandra
find out he lied
Well,
about
Rupert's
that?
great.
in the reunion?
Oh, but they didn't find out on the
until
island.
the reunion. He played it. He's like, I swear, my grandma, I would never vote you
And
out.
Grandma showed
And
up
they
at the
vote
thing.
with him. And Grandma showed
Yeah,
up.
Grandma
at the
showed
reunion.
up.
Oh no way!
He's like, what up, Grandma? Hey, crazy, dude.
That was an amazing
Crazy.
season. Rupert won, wasn't it?
No, Rupert didn't
See,
win.
I never,
Sandra
I never
won.
watched
Okay.
Survivor, but it is like the
I
OG.
wanted Rupert to
No,
win.
Rupert didn't. Rupert came in like 7th.
Oh, I wanted him to win.
Yeah,
So
I
you guys
love
both
Rupert.
watched Survivor.
Yeah, I grew up
Yeah.
watching it, but I didn't remember all this. No, but there was a lady from Cincinnati, the 50-year-old lady,
Yeah.
Lillian, the Camp Scout lady.
Yeah.
She's the one that came in second.
Okay.
Yeah, Sandra ended up winning.
Is there a golden era of Survivor?
Probably right around
Right around
there.
there.
Right
Yeah,
around
but-
there.
Right around there, and they said up to season 20, because season 20 they do.
I didn't get that far.
Well, no, here's what's cool. Season 20 they do heroes versus villains. They bring back all the greatest villains.
We watched the All-Star one, I think. There was
This
an
is
All-Star
different.
one.
That
Okay.
one has Rupert. This
Okay,
one
yeah.
has Rupert again, but they bring back all the greatest heroes and all the greatest villains
So
and
Johnny
make them
Fairplay,
compete.
of course,
Johnny
yeah.
Fair plays on the villains,
Yeah.
and they make them compete against each other,
Yeah.
and it is amazing.
Yeah.
They dub it the best season of Survivor of all time.
Okay.
So heroes versus villains. You should watch
That one sounds fun to
Yeah,
go
you
back
should go
on.
and
Because there
watch
was
it.
a lot of Boston Rob. I love
Boston Rob.
Boston Rob.
Oh gosh.
There was there's some
Yeah.
that and Amazing Race at that time
Seeing
were like
Johnny Fairplay, I was like, this dude's legendary.
Yeah.
I instantly and he got my hook, line, and sinker, dude. It was easy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, she was. She's like, honestly, that's
20
sad.
years ago.
Hey, and then I'm like, this dude's a jerkbag.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it sparked a conversation in a group chat last night. So we were talking. I was like, how long do y'all think I'd make it in Survivor? So I put.
Oh,
a
I
poll out
think
there.
you would win. I think you would win. Or
I think you would win.
You would
or get
win,
close.
or you would make it
'Cause you would-
extremely. You would be like top 2. Like it would be. You'd be in the finale. I no doubt you would win.
I gave them a day rest. 0 to 9, 10 to like 19.
You're
18.
so good with people, and you're cutthroat. You're strategic. You're also very like you'll win people over. You're a genuine guy. Like
I said this. I was like,
you would go very far.
the social concept sounds great to me. Like I would have a great time. The moment I have to eat rice for the 5th time, I would be like, I hate this game. I think I'd have a hard, or I had a spider crawling on me.
I think the cameras.
You're too competitive.
But I
though.
think
You
you're
would-
competitive, and I think
You're
the
too
cameras
competitive.
would bring it out of you, knowing that it's all being filmed.
Yeah.
I think you would hit a different level.
Yeah, you would. You're too competitive.
Yeah.
I would
Like
want
me,
to watch.
I wouldn't make it past first episode or 2 because I'd just lose interest. I'd get bored.
See,
wouldn't
I would
play
have
with
fun.
the
I know
game.
I'd have fun. There's some elements I would really suck, but the social elements why I would love the most. Because I can see myself very much. Oh, there's Jacob going off in the bushes. What's he talking
I'll
about?
say if I had to pick somebody I know to win something, I would pick you. Like
Yeah, I would
you're-
pick you.
because you're just so larger than life, and those people make it far on those shows.
If all the DweeBros and our friends went on there, I think Jacob might take it.
If it was real Survivor, like we have to actually survive, I would pick Alex because he
He has the knife.
He has the knife.
Yeah, he knows.
Everybody has a knife, knows what they're doing.
I don't know. We were laughing because I was watching. So we're gonna keep watching. We're gonna go through season 8 and just till we lose interest.
So look forward to that. We might be doing a YouTube Survivor. Who can stay in this basement the longest without leaving?
Hey, could we all? Would you guys put $100 in a piece and just do that? Like
Who
go find an island and just see how long we last. Last to leave the island wins.
Well, I mean,
And all it is $100, and then I'm getting off the island.
I mean, I have a
I'll-
limited
I'll
amount
chill out
of
for-
vacation time. So
I
you can run the clock out on me pretty easily.
$100
I mean-
ain't gonna keep me there.
Well, how much?
Bucko.
Okay, Alex, so if you got invited, let's say last to leave the island gets.
It'd have to be at the very least $100,000 for me to do something
Really?
like that time stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it'd have to be $100,000.
It'd have to be substantial
'Cause you-
money. I could.
How long do you
invest
think someone
in
would
it.
last? Because
Do what?
40 days is a long time. You tell me $100,000 for 40 days?
Yeah,
I'm looking at
yeah.
this like
I would.
I'd probably say
that would
30.
be my least.
30 would probably be the low bar for me. If someone told me $30,000 for 40 days of my time, I'd be like,
I mean, it's
okay.
still a good deal, but I would really like 100.
I'm pretty stubborn. Like I really could wait a long time, but
You'd
it
have to
depend
win.
on who I'm competing.
I
against.
never. My problem is I never quit.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't want to
turn
compete
into
against you
I would
because you
turn
would
into a
never
skeleton.
go.
I would
Like,
literally be dead.
Yeah,
Like,
who am I competing? If it's you, like
have to die
I
to-
wouldn't do it
yeah.
because you would never.
Now I will
ever
say
give up.
stuff with Survivor, like you got to eat this weird. Or no, that was more Fear Factor. We ate
Yeah,
weird
fear
stuff.
factor. Survivor, you're just like straight
Oh,
up. You're
Fear
trying.
Factor, I wouldn't
You're
eat
trying
it.
to live. You're pretty much
Yeah.
eating rice and beans until you run out, and you're hoping someone catches a fish. Like,
If
that's how
I
you're
had my
living.
mind on it, that I was staying there, then I'm not moving. I'm an immovable object when it comes to
I
that
disagree. I think the moment things got really tough, like you're talking like, hey, The shelter fell in. You're soaking
No,
wet.
dude, this house was the shelter, dude. This freaking house and redoing all this.
Dude, I think it's complete. I honestly think it's completely different. I think you would,
I know when a challenge comes up, I'll die before I let it. Like, not
if I look at the grand scheme, I think Kenny's out first. Kenny or Devin's out first.
Yeah, Kenny will say I was up late last night.
He's one of those two are out first.
He'll say I have to get up early in the morning, and then he wouldn't be there.
See, this is where it gets hard because I'm looking at Zach Campbell and I'm like, I could see Zach Campbell doing some crazy stuff to stay.
I mean, we've been on some bachelor trips where he was hopping down that hill, and I was like, dude, he does one skip, he's dead. Like, it's like,
who knows? But maybe you'll see a video saying last to leave the island coming up on our channel.
I would
here
want to
soon.
win, but Alex would probably take it.
See, I think Alex would want to go home after a while.
That,
I think that would
that's
kick
true.
in for him.
Yeah, maybe he's softened in his older age. I don't
If
know.
it's just us borderline staying on an island, I wouldn't make it. If there were challenges, I'd probably make it a little bit farther just because I'm competitive.
I don't know. Put in the comments. Do you think who would win?
Who would make
in
it the
Survivor?
farthest in Survivor out of our friend group? We'd love to know.
We'd love to know.
We'd also love for you to subscribe.
Yes, and like the video if you like the video.
It's pretty simple. If you like it.
There's a guy that people always say my dad looks like. His name is Gary Shandling. You know who that is?
Yeah.
You just name dropped the guy, but I'm here for it.
But he had a show, the Gary Shandling Show, whatever, and in the intro, they have it's like an intro like song to it, and he stops in the middle of the intro thing. And he's like, "It's not over yet. How do you like it so far?" that's what I think. Like it if you like it. It's not over yet. How do you like it so far? But thank you guys for watching. Hey, we've got some freaking announcements. First announcement. We got bad news or good news? What do you want first?
Start with the bad news.
Yeah, bad
Okay,
always.
bad news. Hangouts is on pause. I'm making a movie currently, and time is a valuable resource. So I'm pausing through the month of July. We'll see about August. The month of July, definitely pause on Hangouts. No streaming.
But good news
Wah,
is you're making
wah.
a movie.
Well,
Making a movie.
Good news. Making a movie. Woohoo! Yippee! Other good news about us. We have been doing this podcast for how many years? Since 2017. So 6 years
Jeez, yeah.
of this freaking podcast.
Good night.
And we've done one every single month
Yep.
for 6 years.
We have somehow not missed.
But we are not going to miss continuing. But, what we are going to do, we're going to give you more. We're going to give you 2 podcasts
Double the amount of
a
content.
month. Because the thing is, by the time it gets into the month, maybe you've talked something to death. Maybe you've heard about the submarine for way too long. But now you'll hear about the submarine faster than Fox News can tell you about it.
Yeah.
But we are going to be trying this. We're going to try it. It's going to be a trial period, but we're going to try in July 2 podcasts. We'll do every 2 weeks.
And there'll be other little nuggets, little changes, things will be
Yeah.
a little different.
Yeah, we're going to
Little
try. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but you're getting more of them instead of one.
And hopefully the
massive-
content just stays fresher.
Yes,
I think
that was
that's
an
been
issue.
the goal. The conversation that we've had was, we want to deliver things in a timely manner, but also in like a more fresh realm of mind, not something that's marinated or sat
Yeah.
on. More of instant reactions.
Yes, and I think the other fact is sometimes if stuff is crazy, like Tears of the Kingdom comes out or an E3 or something, like when we have really long discussions, sometimes it's 2 hours. It can go crazy, past 2 hours sometimes. It's that's a lot, and we kind of get kind of tired by the end of it. So we'll be upbeat, shorter. That's our aim. We'll see if we succeed or fail, but let us know.
Your feedback
Let
matters.
us know
in
feedback.
this.
Yeah, let us know and stuff, and you'll see more of that. And then I have one other announcement. I don't know if it'll be July. I'm trying to do a movie and give all these promises. But game room tour. You've got to see a little piece of it and stuff, but it has taken me a long time, but I think I'm finally ready to give you guys a look.
The official version 3 now?
This will be, I think, the third one.
Yeah,
the third
version
place.
3.
Yeah, the third place I've done one of these at.
It'll be a
So.
long video.
The last one, I talked so much, my throat hurt.
Yeah.
And it was 3.5 hours. So now I have much more stuff. So what is this one?
Zach's goal is to keep the video under 10 minutes.
This is 55 minutes, 55 tacos, 55 burgers. Yeah, it'll be crazy. So hope that kind of tides over not having hangouts. But some more stuff's coming. So thank you guys for watching.
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome. And I think we should go out with this. Hold on. Jacob,
Yeah.
the tribe has spoken. That's a Survivor reference for those who don't. Oh, you can't even see it. I forget. Do they still use that theme song?
I volunteered to also leave the island.
The tribe has spoken.
Yeah, I really thought I'd make it a lot farther, but you know, I played the game the best of my abilities, and I'm okay with that. Great competitors, and yeah, man, that Zach guy sucks.
What's the Fox logo at the end or whatever? Ding dun dun dun.